Here we go.
They be really trying to sell it. The last one I want to talk about, because I can't talk about the other, the one who didn't even make it. Nick D and Hannah. What's your take on Nick D and Hannah?
I was surprised by that because I didn't like how she talked to him even early on. I was worried about that. Even when her brother came over there, the brother was saying, like, dude, she talked to me like this, almost like trying to tell him, like, he himself has an issue with how she's always talked to people and saying that's a problem. And he knows it's a problem. As her brother, even her parents looked more so like they was hoping she found somebody because they can't really deal with her because of her mouth. But I thought maybe there was a point where it seemed like it was going to turn around. I thought, oh, okay. But her snapping at him, just any woman to feel like they could tell a man, I made you from a boy to a man.
Within 2 weeks. Like, to tell you that within a couple of weeks is wild.
It
was crazy. He was still accepting her because, mind you, she broke up with him. He was still willing to go forward with it. Like,
he was a very sweet guy. I mean, and I'm not.
Yeah, he's younger than mine.
He was gonna be from just the pods. It was making me think he was gonna be like this.
Yeah, machismo. Yeah,
asshole dude, whatever. But it was completely the opposite. He was very sweet, very patient, and just kind of was letting her do her thing because she disrespected him so many different ways and different times that I don't know how anybody, just being a human being, can deal with that. Like, how many times are you going to degrade me? How many times are you going to insult me?
Do you think she was throwing him?
Like, what do I have to go on if you're going to talk to me and treat me like
No, but he was willing to go on it. He still wanted to get married. Like,
yes, he was, but
the world would have saw that differently.
If he was just also maybe waiting to get to the altar and after much thought maybe would have then told her no, because she talked to him horribly. Like, I did not like that. It was hard to watch.
It was very hard to watch. She's younger than him. Yeah, she might be more experienced, and yeah, he might be a little less experienced. And I don't even fault him for staying with his parents.
And me looking at that and thinking, if any girl was talking to my son like that,
oh yeah, no,
I would have an issue with that. It's going to be a problem immediately because no, just ask, why are you even with somebody or dating somebody that you feel like you got to talk to like that? That's just not going to work, period. So, I mean, ultimately she called it out because she needed to, because you cannot be with a man who you feel is inferior to you.
Okay.
And understandably, he is young. He does have a lot more he needs to experience. He does. He's, obviously spoiled by his mom and dad, and so he hasn't really been in a position to just completely take care of himself, which that's a blessing to him. She's more advanced than he is. And on top of her being much more experienced and advanced than him, her talking to him like that is inappropriate, and it's just not going to work, because what if he one day snapped with her running her mouth like that? It's just crazy.
Even for her to read that list towards their breakup, she's asking him, like, who takes care of your cat? And he's like, well, my dad does.
No, don't get me wrong.
Who feeds him? I mean, like, you're trying to embarrass him on national TV just by asking, like, what are your responsibilities? And he's like, well, my car payment, not much. And he's like, my parents help me. She's trying to embarrass him on national TV to say, well, these are a list of things that I don't see you as a man. These aren't benefits to me. And he's like, well, this is what it is. And again, love is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to be financial. Well, you got to worry about the finances, but it's supposed to be blind, not financial, not, circumstance, not nothing. If she loved him like that, she could overlook that and help him. And he was in it to win it. So
she had
for her,
some valid points. I will say
no
that
valid
there
points,
were some
but
things that she had that were valid concerns. For example, I don't wholeheartedly agree with him running over there, entertaining the woman on the horsey, whatever it was. There's just a
yeah,
way.
it was kind of
It's
wild.
just a way to go about doing certain things to always consider your partner and their feelings and what. I always go back to Cedric the Entertainer saying, even for him and his wife and the long term time they've had and togetherness, their goal every day is how do I make my partner happy, not myself. And so you have to consider your partner's feelings and all that you do and how that will make them feel. That's what gets you through it. And how do you make them happy? If your person has just communicated to you, hey, I don't want you to go over there, then maybe not, don't go over there and find something that works for both of y'all. That's how you avoid conflict. That's how you work towards happy times, not going against the grain. And I don't expect it to be like that in every situation. So she did have some things that were concerning. She has every right to ask him questions about his in just him being an individual and being responsible and how he handles different things. Those are questions needed to know to learn a person to understand where they are. However, like they always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. There's just certain things that, while it may have been valid or good questions or things to talk about, it's really how she said it to him, how she treated him. Because ultimately he's a very nice guy. He's a very sweet, gentle, loving guy. But I did think though that she would have been a good fit for him to help him grow up in her protective, more responsible nature. But the way she talked to him, she took it too far with a lot of the things that she would say.
No, exactly.
That's things that most people will find very hurtful. I don't know how you, ma'am, felt like you made him from a boy to a man in a month. I don't really know how you got that much confidence to have your chest out to feel like that, to say
Yeah,
that to that young
to
man
even
like
say that right there, that hit my heart. I'm like, man, I don't know how you
like
just. And
that
I'm glad he
right
stopped it right there. I'm
there.
like, dang, and
That could have went, it's not a lot of people in this world that have a level of self-control required that he had to have in that moment to not pop her across her face, because that was so disrespectful. That was so disrespectful.
no, that was wild. That was wild.
You don't know this man. You ain't been around him long enough to say that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she really be trying to get under people's skin. Like, the way she talks to people, it seems that she talks to everybody that way. And that's a problem.
no, facts.
So I
her
hope
friends didn't approve of Nick D, and I'm like,
they
maybe
were
they're all,
chastising
yeah,
him,
maybe
like
they're all.
trying to come at him like, all of y'all, that's no. I appreciated Katie, the friend who did come in to tell him, like, hey, Nick, you're a nice guy. And while I maybe feel like, I'm a little bit more mature than you, and you maybe have some little bit more experience to go through before you would even be a good fit for me, or, some more things you learn. She did give him some positive things with that. She didn't go over there and tear him down, and, and he appreciated it. It wasn't like how Hannah talked to him. Cause if I was Nikki D mama watching that back, I'd be too through.
Facts.
Now listen, also I hope this is also a learning lesson to boy moms that we need to take the titty out their mouth and they need to learn how to be self-sufficient. It's just the circle of life. Because there are things that, while that's great that he has that, there are certain things that he would have been benefited from learning a little bit more of. And so some of these boys do rely on their mom too much, and he's just not there yet. And he is still young. I think he was 28?
28, she was 26.
28. So, and that's just where he is in life, and maybe he's not ready, what have you, but I don't know. He's very sweet though. I really like him.